point of my research I did about ISIS in the Middle East and how the public thinks about them. You know, like if we should change any, fight them or just stay out of it like we should do. But since I can remember, terrorism has been it's quite a big issue throughout the world. You know, it's always on the news where there's all different bombs going off, like Boston bombings or people in the UK leaving to go to Syria to fight or to help them, and like Lee Rigby and also Paris. And the current threat, that's why the level in the UK has gone up. I think it's to amber out of the 4 codes. Since the Paris incidents and any of the terrorist attacks, but they're also like ISIS. They don't really have any goals like the Taliban or Al Qaeda. They just want to, like in the news, they seem to kill everyone for any reason. Like some guys tried to leave their organisation, they killed them. There's reporters like that Jordanian pilot who was burnt alive on like TV, which I thought was quite a bad thing for them to do. And there's just like it says on there, even female, male, white, human, anyone that won't convert to their beliefs, so kill you from the same area. I used gender in my survey because I thought maybe guys would be more considering going across there and fighting them to stop them because they're more like protective, people in society, and females might think different opinions as well, like because we're females a bit more motherly, so they care a bit more about when guys are being killed in Afghan and places like that. And also with people watching the news and soldiers always on standby, would it be the men that is a bit more and also good thing about research is I got about half and half of the researchers were between male and female, so I thought that was quite good and balanced out. Age as well I thought is a good category because sometimes younger people are more inclined to want to go across and stop it, but older people that have had more experience in these kind of groups before will be a bit more cautious when it comes to this because you know how long these wars can go on. Like Afghanistan went on for about 10 years, and with the IRA as well, that went on for more than 30 years. All the troubles and things in Ireland, and as you can see on here, a vast majority of the surveys were actually 14 to 20, 14 to 20, yeah, 16 to 20. So quite a lot of the college students were that did the survey for me. And people had heard of ISIL. I was quite happy that a lot of people had heard of it because obviously if you're doing a survey you don't really know anything about it, it's going to be quite hard to make that connection about what you know. But I think it was good that 87% of the people that did do it were had heard of them because and it's quite hard to believe that only 12 people hadn't heard of ISIS. And you think it's that popular, and it's always on the news. You must live in a cave or in a rock somewhere. Where did they hear of ISIL? Most of them heard it on the news and media, like I was just saying. Some people have the posts on Facebook. If anyone here look at Vice on Facebook, Vice, it's just like they do quite a lot of articles and videos on these kind of issues around the world. Not applicable, I don't know how else someone could have heard that, unless they on Twitter or whatever. I mean, I don't really use Twitter myself, but yeah, the news and media is quite a lot. And but the way they're on the news is because of the story. Have you heard any stories about what they've done? Yeah. Yeah, is it on the news you've heard most of the things? People being beheaded and things. Like that Jihadi John, I think he was only on the news this morning. He said he's run off ever since they found out his identity, that he's English and that he's the one that's been doing all the beheadings. I thought one of the main questions would be if people would support an actual war against ISIS in Iraq and Syria again, like we did against the Al Qaeda in Afghanistan. Would anyone here think it would be to go across and actually fight them? No, I actually did, to be honest, I thought more people would say yes. I'm against it, to be honest, to be completely honest, because 10 years in Afghan, it's just left us like skint. We've got lots of wounded service personnel that are all, all those people, all the costs and things, and just think about 400 people were killed in Afghanistan while they're out there. So, and lots of people do think they're lost causes. Just saying that's not our problem. It's in a different continent altogether. Why should we get involved? Yeah, it's mainly just because I think because quite a lot of the majority of people, I think that quarter was probably 22 people said yes, so that's probably, you know, the 16 to 20 year olds that don't know that much about it yet, but you know, they're a bit more keen to, especially if they're quite young, they want to feel like, you know, these are quite bad people that need to be dealt with. There is current interventions against ISIS, so there are troops actually across there now, but there'll be like special forces and things. Because only, I think it was about a year after ISIS kicked off, this was only popped into news that there were actually troops there, you know, fighting against them and actually intervening. You know, the same with Americans trying to get rid of, I think it was last week they got rid of the head of their finances, ISIS finance, the guy that runs all the finances, they took him out, so, but many did skip it, but like I said, I think that's just because I had the picture there instead of the actual question, because you had to scroll down to do it, so I think a lot of people just saw a picture and just press next. Yeah, there are people there right now fighting against ISIS that a lot of people don't think know about, and there's some of the answers back from when asking should we go to war with ISIS, some of the comments were as expected. So community says someone wrote no, because the cost of life is worth a lot more than fighting over whom is right within an argument. Instead of invading a country, try just to use political peers to solve, because each life has the possibility of doing great things, and war makes this go down. Great things that can be done. So as people get killed off, the less things can be done. It refers to finances. I think the country should spend every penny it can to protect its people. If it refers to lives lost, our troops sign up knowing the dangers that will be carried. They'll die heroes. So I mean, people write things out, but I mean, then again, that could have been quite, you know, like a young person. I mean, I don't think. So some people say, no, we're already in trouble about attracting more. So, you know, going across there might escalate even more. So people in the UK, instead of going to Syria, could stay here and start trying to disrupt the police here. And someone at the bottom says, yeah, war makes some money and deals with overpopulation. So it's just, I had a range of different answers that came in. And yeah, some were quite logical, and others were just, I think, people just wrote because they could. And I got, I think, out of all of them, I got like 80 responses, but I didn't want to put more in there, so look for some really more serious ones. Other areas of resources I used wasn't just the server. I actually wrote an email to Graham Stewart. Do you know who he is? Yeah. Yeah, he's the MP of Beverley and Holmes. I think he got in this term as well after the elections. Yeah, I wrote an email to him, and that was my email to him. And I said, like, what? Because he voted yes to bombing ISIS, you know, the air war against them. And I said, you know, why did you vote for it? And I did get a letter back off him a few weeks later. I did think of him, and he just read it and thought, oh, I don't need to do this. But I got a letter back off him, but I've sadly left that at home today. But I do have the letter, and it says his reasons for it was he thought, because of all the bad things they do, it was like right to, you know, not send troops in, but just to try and disrupt their, you know, organisation a little bit with air raids and things. And also, he thought that would be quite a good trigger to try and get the armed forces a bit more money, which he was saying. It says, because we're bombing them, you know, we need more funding, so he thought that would be quite a good trigger to try and get the finances more money. And also, we had a bit of propaganda in there saying that Labour left a 150 billion gap in armed forces, you know, like a little rant on about Labour, like he would, because I think it's conservative. And, you know, just, that's who he is if you don't know who he is. You maybe see him in the paper and things. Yeah, Mr. Happy. He's always in Beverley as well, I think, doing surgeries and talking about people. And yeah, conclusion from it, so from my findings, I come to the conclusion that people that complete the research, they do want ISIS stopped or slowed down or, you know, like destroyed, but without the use of ground troops, because I think Afghanistan's just put the public off. I mean, I can't really speak for the whole UK because I've only done about 100 people from college in here, so but I think the majority of people wouldn't want troops back in the ground again, even though there are special forces there at the moment, but I think they're just going to keep it to the air war at the moment and just maybe hoping that other people like America and that, which with intelligence and things. Yeah, that's my research. PowerPoint, thanks for listening. Is there any questions about it, or?
You said you surveyed about 100 people with like different like subjects, or were they all public service?
So I think I did send them to my dad to send round his. He works in Leeds with the army, so I think I got feedback off them. A lot of staff did it, because I went round and sent the link to a lot of staff. I think the mass majority would have been students because of the age gaps, but I think quite a lot were teachers as well. So I'd say about 70% were students, and the rest were either people that were teachers, people out of college, or people on my Facebook, because you can put the link on Facebook as well. So I got a few of my friends to do it as well, but yeah, I think most of them, I think it was just a mixed thing from all the different units and courses at college. Did everyone do the survey in here?
Yeah.
Any things I could change on it, make it better? But I think next time if I did do it, I'd maybe pay, I think, because of SurveyMonkey I did it on the free one, if you pay like £5 a month or whatever, just if I did that for 1 month, you know, you can get up to 1,000 responses and can make it a lot better, more questions, more information, more things like that. So yeah, so is there any more questions about it? Yeah, and another thing, if you do this like next year, research, email Graham Stewart, and it's really easy to email. He'll get back to you in a few weeks and he'll send you a letter, which I thought was quite good. I thought he was just going to send like a little email saying, yeah, I did it because of this, but he sent me a full letter from House of Commons, had the actual paper, and yeah, it was quite special.